Certainly, today's typical Chevrolet dealership is a picture of health. But sometimes, as every sales manager knows, situations arise that need prompt diagnosis and treatment if the dealership is to remain healthy. Now, a healthy Chevrolet dealership naturally means a busy sales manager. Maybe one that's too busy. Sometimes you've probably felt that you're too busy, but with the wrong things. Busy taking care of problems and situations that aren't really productive responsibilities. And sometimes our everyday frustrations and aggravations become so much a part of the routine that we regard them as normal or incurable. The question is, are these troublesome situations really incurable? Or could you cure them if you pinpointed them, diagnosed them, and then prescribed and followed through with treatment? Our presentation today is going to portray some of the illnesses. They aren't all new. They bother some sales managers more than others. The point is, any stumbling block to efficient operation is a health hazard to the dealership. But they can almost always be cured once the sales manager applies himself to the job of getting rid of them. Now, ordinarily, a sales manager doesn't conduct his business from a hospital emergency room, such as this. But sometimes a dealership is a different kind of emergency room, with emergencies continually arising. The job is to diagnose those emergencies and to find the cure that will keep the dealership and the sales manager healthy. That means using whatever tools or techniques you have at your disposal. Now, this, of course, is not normally one of the tools you would use, but it brings to mind a very interesting case that had the medical world puzzled for some time. One which took a doctor with a very special specialty to diagnose and cure.
What do you think, Doctor?
Serious situation.
Has he got a chance?
Hard to tell.
What's your guess, Doctor?
I'd guess less than 50-50.
That bad?
I spent 4 years in the Army. Saw some of the bloodiest action of the war. But in all that time, I've never seen a man make 7 passes in a row.
Come on, little Joe.
Not enough patients to keep the orderlies busy, eh, Doctor?
Only one, Doctor. Haven't been able to diagnose his trouble.
Were you the one that called me down from the psychiatric ward, Doctor?
You are Dr. Stacy, aren't you?
Right, Ben Stacy. You?
Jim Pilcare.
You look familiar, Doctor. Ever worked for the police department?
Never did, Doctor. You?
Guess not. What's the patient's problem?
Very strange case. State of shock. Looks psychomatic. That's why we called you. Just lies there with that glassy stare. What do you think?
Looks creepy to me.
That's what the night nurse said.
What about hypnosis, Doctor?
What about it?
Let's try it. All right, now, George, just watch the clock. Look at the second hand very carefully, George. When I say go, you will let the second hand make one complete revolution, and then you will wake up. All right, George, go. You're in General Hospital, George.
Emergency room.
How do you feel, George?
How would you feel?
What are you trying to say, George?
Trying to say I feel rotten.
Tell us what's wrong, George. From the beginning.
My name is George Farthingwell. I'm a Chevrolet dealership sales manager. Everything began to close in on me. The day I tried to explain to my dealer why I need an assistant sales manager.
Just why do you need an assistant, George?
Because I'm wasting too much time with minor details that I can't get out of.
Isn't that the story with all of us?
Yeah, but I can't get the important things done. Now, look, I know a man who could really help this operation, but he won't come cheap. Now, if you let me put him on, I'll bet that I can raise the profit on new car sales by at least...
George, I won't gamble where the dealership's concerned. But I tell you what, you prove to me in facts and figures that an assistant sales manager can help sales and profits, and I'll give it a try. But remember, I'm going on vacation tomorrow, so you'd better get yourself organized pretty fast.
One day to get facts, figures. One day to make a breakdown of my own schedule to show why I needed help.
Are you trying to say that one day isn't enough for a breakdown, George?
I'm saying one day isn't enough time for anything except a breakdown. A nervous breakdown. For instance, it wasn't until about 9 o'clock that morning that I got started getting my information together. And everything started to bust loose.
Why should I work up prospects for you? Work up what prospect? Where's your name on it? This guy comes in here and says, I've been thinking about a Chevelle Malibu. What am I supposed to do? Ask him to fill out a questionnaire on who he's been talking to?
Well, that's pretty funny, all right, but how do you think he decided on a Malibu? I sold him on it, that's how.
Well, you didn't sell him too well if you let him walk out on you.
Well, it's hard to tell without seeing it, man. Why don't you bring it in? I'll have one of our best men figure our very best deal for you. That's right, ma'am. Farthingwell. You're welcome, ma'am.
Got a good one here, George. You want to take a look?
Hey, good going, Charlie. You more like that, and we'll clean out the lot and get rich. Hey, let me ask you a question, Jim. Did you contact the prospect since the first time he came in?
Well, no, I didn't think I had to, after
Did you keep his name?
Well, you know it's silly to get the name of every looker who comes in the front door.
Did you give him your name and ask him to ask for you if he came back?
Well, I don't remember. I probably did. But so what? I was still the first one to talk to him, and I sold him on a Malibu.
Well, Jim, you didn't contact him. You didn't get his name. You didn't write him up. Sounds like all you did was pass the time of day. Like Joe says, where's your name on him?
I still say if I sell a prospect in the car, it should be my prospect.
Hey, George, how about a little help with the service department?
What do you want me to do with the service department?
Well, I got a customer who's been waiting 2 weeks for delivery. Every night he swings by the lot to check if his car came in. He checks every order number on Bel Air station wagons. When he doesn't find his, he calls me up and tells me he's canceling.
So what's that got to do with service?
His car just came in.
Fine, but what's that got to do with service?
He says he's going to come by and pick it up on his way home. He's supposed to go out of town day after tomorrow.
And that means...
Right. Joe Rivers says he's got too many cars in line in the service department, and he won't have this one ready until tomorrow night.
Oh, come on, Brad. You mean you and Joe can't get together over a simple thing like this? Susie, get me Joe Rivers. Hello, Joe. George. Brad tells me you guys can't get together on that Bel Air wagon he wants to deliver.
Faster over here in the service department, George. We have hundreds waiting for repairs. I can't take all my time getting these new cars ready for you.
And it kept going on and on that way. Time kept going by. Plus, I had to keep going out to help on closes, find time to make out the new car order, and on, and on, and on.
Hypnosis wore off, Doctor.
Are you trying to say the hypnosis wore off, Doctor?
Let's bring him around again.
Oh, wait, Doctor.
Yes, Doctor?
That's too much of a strain.
Are you trying to say the patient can't take it, Doctor?
No, Doctor. I'm trying to say that I can't take it. Let's try this.
Where was I?
You were saying people kept coming around with their problems.
Oh, yeah. For instance, around 2 o'clock that afternoon.
Look, I can't get another $75 out of this guy.
Jack, I want to help you, and I want to help your prospect.
Good. Then we're all set.
But if we're going to go on helping people, we've got to stay in business. And in order to do that, we've got to make a profit. In this case, $75 more of profit. Farthingwell speaking. Oh, hi, Jerry. It's Jerry over in used cars. Yeah, I approved that deal. Well, I praised it myself. Nobody else was around. Okay, so I slipped up on that one. With all I've got to do, I just don't have time to stay on top of the used car market, hour by hour.
Say, what does it take to get a car out of the service department on time around here? Why, I've
Now,
been
wait
out
a minute.
there...
I've already heard that one today. What's more, I'm tired of listening to complaints.
But I'm not. All I want...
When are the salesmen in this place going to start solving their own problem?
I don't know. The point is...
The point is I've got enough to do without playing nursemaid to a bunch... Wait a minute. This is Farthingwell. Oh, hello, Aunt Emma. Why, yes, it certainly has been a long time, Aunt Emma. A car for little Billy? Well, sure we will. Well, of course I'll give him a discount. You just send him right in. Yeah. Goodbye, Aunt Emma. Now, look. You stop bugging me about the service department, and I'll let you have the deal on that car for my Aunt Emma's son. See, when did you start working here?
Work here? I don't work here. I'm just trying to get my car out of the service department.
By that time, the day was almost over. I began to hear this buzzing in my head.
I know what you mean, George.
Was it a loud sort of buzzing, George?
It was splitting my head.
I know. I can hear it myself. Can you hear it, Doctor?
How do you figure it out, Doctor?
Empathy reaction, Doctor. Very common in psychiatry.
The only consolation I had was Charlie, who kept bringing in those high gross deals. Say, you're really hot today, Charlie. Another full gross deal.
To tell the truth, George, I think I found the secret. But I won't know for sure for a little while yet.
When you're sure, let the rest of us know, will you? Farthingwell. Yes, I'm the sales manager. I see when you slam the door, the lights go out. I'll take it up with the service manager right away. Meanwhile, will you call him and make an appointment to bring your car in? Yes, sir. You're welcome. Hi, Edith.
This deal was turned down, Mr. Farthingwell, and this one, and these, too.
4 deals turned down for credit. Let me see.
The day was almost over, huh, George?
Yeah. I still hadn't done a thing about proving to the boss that I needed an assistant.
Oh, there you are, Mr. Farthingwell. The boys heard you were here, thought it would be a shame for you to have nothing to do.
Yeah. Wouldn't be able to stand the strain.
Yes, that's what we all thought. So I brought these orders for your okay. Better for a sick person's morale, isn't it, Doctor?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
This one looks pretty good. Say, you tell Charlie, needs another 50 on this one. Charlie! That little double-crosser. All the time I thought he was the one guy who was carrying the load, when all he turned out to be was the last straw. Charlie, about this deal you wrote up earlier today, did you know the guy's about to stand trial for embezzlement? And that they just repossessed his last car?
No kidding. You think I ought to get another $50 from him?
Charlie, let's talk about this selling secret you say you found.
Sure, boss. What do you want to know?
What's the secret?
Well, you always say write up every prospect, right?
Sure, Charlie. I've been saying that.
Right. So suppose a guy comes in and wants a green Impala with air. Would you say to him, no, sir, I can't sell you that car?
No, Charlie, I wouldn't say that, but...
Well, I wouldn't either. I just write them up just like you've been saying.
Farthingwell. Oh, fine, Harry. How are you? Trade? Sure. Sure, if you got something I can use. What do you need? Are you kidding? I could use about 10 of those myself. Oh, better luck next time. Now then, Charlie. You were saying you write them up.
Sure, that's just part of it, too.
You mean there's more?
Well, yesterday this guy comes in, agrees to a full gross deal. I know his credit's shaky, but I wrote him up just like you said. Then he sends his friends in. And you know what?
What?
I found a whole new market. That's the secret.
Charlie, if their credit's no good, you're just using up paper.
Oh, some of them don't make it, but you always say, write up every prospect. Some of them are going to get through. By the way, how about checking around on the rest of them? I promised delivery by Saturday.
You better leave, man.
Shall we bring him around again, Doctor?
Yeah. Tragic case.
You have a diagnosis, Doctor?
Sales manager syndrome. Bad.
Can't we help him? Can't anybody help him?
Might be one man, but I don't know.
You mean there's only one man that can help him?
That's what I mean.
A specialist, Doctor?
Special specialist.
What's his specialty?
Sales manager syndrome.
Who is he, Doctor?
The only man who can really understand a sales manager's problems.
You mean...
It's true indeed that nobody understands a sales manager's problems as well as the sales manager himself. But the question is, are those problems really necessary? Is it really unavoidable to spend time mediating disputes between salesmen? Or between salesmen and the service department? Is it really necessary for you to make the appraisals? To repeatedly justify dealership policy to your salesmen? To answer customer complaints about other departments? And waste time on deals which won't be delivered? George Farthingwell thought his answer was an assistant. In other cases, it may be more or better in dealership training and individual salesman counseling, or maybe just a better understanding of dealership policies. The point is, every problem calls for its own prescription, and the only one who can write that prescription is the manager himself. So, you be the doctor. You've had the experience in curing illnesses in your dealership. What prescriptions have you found to be most effective in keeping your organization smooth running and productive?